What is freedom of speech? It's the freedom to speak. It's political correctness. It's simply manipulating the target population to silence itself.
Migrants crossing the Med, likened them to cockroaches. I said that and I stand by it.
Well, is there something wrong with generating money? It's like, it depends on what you're going to do with the money. Spend it all on hookers and cocaine?
How dare you! You have stolen my dreams and my childhood with your empty words. And yet, I'm one of the lucky ones.
Shut up, you cunt.
Many media outlets, many platforms don't really want to give me an opportunity to speak, just want to write slanderous articles about me without interviewing me in the first place. So I take every opportunity that I can get to speak. Puts me in a box. It reduces me. I do not have any hate for Greta. It is not true that most scientists agree that climate change is being man-made.
All night. All night. All night. All night. All night. All night. All night.
Only need a call, trust me.
All night. All night. All night. All night. All night. All night. All night.
Only need a call, trust me.
All night. All night.
All night.
All night.
All night.
All night.
All night.
All night.
Only need a call, trust me.
All night.
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 Only need a call, trust me.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is Wednesday, the 8th of June, 2022. We are 2 minutes late today, so apologies. I'm Manisinda, I am your host, and I have with me today, as always, Banksy style. Banksy, you're on mute, my friend.
Hello, hello, hello. No, it's okay. I was just waiting for you to finish. How's it going, everyone? Hope you're all doing well out there.
Hello to everyone in the chat, including Samem, Leo, and everybody else who's watching. I'm glad you have joined us. So, Banksy, did you see this, the title of this show?
Yeah. Of course.
What was it? What's the title of this show?
It's your delusion.
What's the title of this
that
show?
Somehow I'm gonna come onto your crazy, unscientific side of the conspiracy theorists.
Really? Okay. Well, I'm glad you said that.
Your delusion.
I'm glad you said that. Let me share my screen. So we're viewing my account on Speaker's Corner. I'm just going to minimize it so we can have a good look. So let's have a look at this post here. This is Banksy. Banksy, is this your account, my friend?
It could be someone else's account. It could be anything. It could be anything.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we have in front of you evidence, undeniable evidence. This is Banksy Styles' account, yeah, and you have here Banksy chemtrails post. We'll get to you in a minute, Banksy.
I simply posted something.
Yeah, I don't want anyone to be missing it. So this is, again, Banksy style.
What you don't realize is, Manny, I am a prolific troll, but that's okay. You keep going along the path. You keep biting on my bait.
Agency has confessed that Spain is being sprayed with lead dioxide, silver iodide, and diatomite. So, please explain, Banksy. Have you fully woken up, or are you? Well, you can't. Come on, you can't. There was no troll about that post. That was a genuine post. There were people commenting on that post. There was no reaction from you, and it's funny that you actually posted that before Alex Jones even said anything about it.
Was that before Alex Jones?
You actually beat Alex Jones to this. The only difference is Alex Jones actually followed the sources and provided the UN documents, and it's all in Spanish, but I can actually post that. Yes, I brought it with me. So the Alex Jones coverage is as follows. Let me bring that up. Bear with me, people. Apologies. Perhaps I should have opened these. Share my screen. So this is the Alex Jones version. So, breaking: Spain admits spraying deadly pesticides as part of secret UN chemtrail program. As we'll see here, there is a bulletin official del Estado, which is, he covers it. Now, shall we just play a few seconds of it?
The Meteorological Agency has confessed Spain is being sprayed with lead dioxide, silver, iodine, and diatomite, and more. And it goes on to say that they are spraying with UN authorization in the EU biocides, and look up biocides, a pesticide that kills life.
Yeah, so Wendy, just in response, rather than coming out with ad hominems, as Banksy would say, and calling people nutty, go away and do your research, sweetheart, read up and see what you find. And I'll tell you what, I'm going to help you out. There is the link if anybody wants to see. Watch the video, he's got the documents there. Enjoy, come back and tell us what you think. So going back to Banksy, you beat Alex Jones and InfoWars in breaking that story. Congratulations.
All I'm saying is certain things were, out there, and I simply took note. That's all. I'm not saying that it's all guaranteed 100%.
Well,
I'm just simply sharing some information.
I'm actually happy for you and for the world and for everybody else. And on that note, I'm going to show you something very interesting. Oh no, is he sent this video? How do I? Oh no, rotate right. No, that's not it. Undo.
What the video is all.
Let me show you. I've got to show a video. I've got some friends who are visiting a very hot country in Asia, shall we say. They spotted something for 3 days on the trot, and I've asked them to send me a video. Now, they sent me a number of videos, different days, different phones, different devices, all with the same result.
That looks like a hotel.
It's a hotel. Nice, I'm trying to
hot
switch.
country.
Yeah, I can't show you the other videos because
they're private.
Yeah, no, they put their stupid faces in there, and I told them not to do that. I don't know how to switch this video, but let me just play it. How do I mute it? Let me mute him. His information. But anyway, let me play, and then you can advise me accordingly. So he's just showing this video, and then he looks up, and this is happening on multiple days. It's not the lens of the camera, as you can see. As we can see over here, there's the what we call the chemtrail clouds that mist are forming. But they're telling me, and they did a live stream with like through Google Meets, and they showed me this, and it's weird because he's basically saying in the video, and I can't his voice, that this is what's appearing in the sun in the country that they're in above it, and all they see.
What? Can we say what country this is?
Let's just say it's next to Thailand.
Okay, so this is a Southeast Asian part of the world.
Yes.
Okay, because I was thinking maybe Mexico or something, but okay. So this is Southeast Asia, and is this with a naked eye as well, not with just the lens? So this is not a lens effect. This is with the naked eye. It looks like that.
Yes. So they two of them have an Android, one of them has an iPhone and a tablet, and they've because I was like, come on, that looks like a lens thing
effect,
and so they did that, and then they've been in the hotel, and there is a slight angle to it. I mean, when they're higher up, I think they were on the, I don't know, like so many floors up, and it looked as if it was a plate hanging there, but a bit invisible. But it's hard to describe. The videos they sent me, because I was like, they're taking the mick.
Or maybe it's the alien mothership that's just invisible, with the cloaking. This is just sun coming through the alien's cloaking shield that makes it look like it gives it that effect because
it could be
the cloaking effect of a giant mothership.
As conspiratorial as that sounds, it could well be. But you can say anything today because you have now joined the ranks of evidence finders. We salute you, Banksy. Welcome. The world will be a different place.
Yeah. Whatever, man. No, I don't believe any of this bollocks. It's clearly bollocks. It's just that the thing is, that they say any advanced knowledge or technology to primitive people would look like magic, or would look like some crazy thing. So the fact is that the northern lights, I forgot what they call, Aureolus, whatever. They look amazing, but that's just the way it. It's the rays of the sun, and the fact that at that particular point in the world, and the gases that it gives off happens to give that amazing effect. That's not conspiracy. That's not chemtrails. It's just the fact that there are certain atmospheric conditions that happen to give very unusual looking effects. This is you. I mean, I'll be honest, this is to me, this is like a child.
That's not an atmospheric effect. That is some dude cooking a curry up some icy mountain, and that is the remnants of
that's what that is. Oh, clearly. What was I thinking? Clearly, that's what that is.
I mean, come on, Banksy, stay with it. Keep 1 foot on the ground at least. All right. So moving forward, shall we? You have
Aurora Borealis. That's it. The Aurora Borealis. You know what I mean?
And it's beautiful. And it's beautiful. I must admit.
But the fact is that it's not magic. It's not chemtrails.
I agree. It's natural. But however, we've discussed the clouds. I mean, these are not clouds, are they?
They are clouds. This is what I mean. This is you lying on your back. Well, no, those are obviously jets. Those are trails left by different jets. But you see, how can you tell the difference between that being a chemtrail and the cum trail or whatever the hell else was it that you were talking about? I'll speak
to you. I'll speak to you how you want to be spoken in the language that you understand.
Whatever, man. Whatever.
Moving forward, let's tackle your. You did a fantastic job, though you were unfortunate in the sense that while you were attending the Queen's Jubilee on the Friday, I believe, or maybe the Saturday.
Yeah. It was Friday. It was the Friday. Yeah, it was horrific. Yeah, and no, the thing is, my connection got lost.
I've got to tell you, because 5G is dangerous, they don't allow it anywhere near Buckingham Palace. But that might be a conspiracy theory for you. Anyway.
But I don't have 5G. My phone is a 4G. My contract is still 4G.
They don't like any strong signals that emit strong radiation going toward her. To Her Highness. Did you not know that, Banksy?
That's what it is. That's what it is. With me being literally about 400 feet away from Buckingham Palace.
Did you get a good reception?
Well, no, because as I said, I was getting an okay signal until when I got to the barriers of where they'd closed off for the concert that was going to be on the other side. Then, I guess it's all the various different TV equipment that they have that causes a massive disruption in the signals because I lost signal and I just simply could not restart. I tried restarting the live stream 9 times and I just couldn't get it going until I was pretty much out of that Pall Mall or whatever, the area where all the flags are running up to Buckingham Palace. I was pretty much out of that area before I could even get any kind of decent signal, and I just simply gave up at that point and wrapped up the show. It just turned out to be a bit of a shit show, to be honest. I couldn't do anything. I didn't get a chance to interview anyone. I still have a series of interesting interview questions which I want to ask some people, but that's gone out of the window. Actually, I can read out the one that I wanted to ask for the Jubilee because I don't think I can really ask that anymore. These are what I call comical questions to ask the general public. It's something like there's a gentleman called Mark Dice. He's a comedian. He does similar sort of things. Now, the one I was going to ask was that the Queen is thinking about skipping over Charles and going straight to William as the king because he doesn't approve of Camilla. Also, where is Prince Andrew? Is he buying another Epstein Island? Is he on Epstein Island Mark II? But yeah, clearly Andrew was missing from the pageantry. Even Harry and Meghan showed up to to the to the St. Paul's Cathedral. But actually, on that note, this is actually a great segue, because I want you, this is going to segue to your conspiracy theory bollocks as well as the Queen's Jubilee. This is all tied in, amazingly enough. If you if you care to share my screen now. As you can see, the lineup there. This was, I believe, the Thursday lineup. You can see William, Charles. I don't know who these two other blokes are. Princess Anne, her husband, Camilla. All the the kids, all that. They're all there. Now, this is something that happened when the Red Arrows flew over the Buckingham Palace with the
picture
with the colour.
nod to the future of the monarchy.
There you go. Now, as you can see, the Red Arrows are flying with representing the British colours, red, white, and the blue. And that was a clip from one of the cockpit videos from the actual Red Arrow planes, one of the jets. Now, as you can see here, do you see this?
The blip.
Yeah, this came into shot, and lots of obviously your type of people, conspiracy theories, are calling on that. Like, what is this?
I pause.
Hold on. You get closer. There it is.
Pause. I love this, right? Banksy is trying so hard not to be labelled a conspiracy theorist. He's posting on Speaker's Corner about chemtrails. He's showing UFOs live on stream, but he's saying, don't you dare call me a conspiracy. I tell you what, don't worry, Banksy. We're going to call you the evidence man. From this day forward, Banksy will be known as the evidence.
Look, for all we know, this could be a piece of paper. I mean, we don't really know. I mean, it won't be a piece of paper. There's no way a piece of paper would be that far up in the air. This is the height of the jets that are flying over Buckingham Palace.
Of course, it's going to look like a piece of paper in a second.
But no. I mean, it just looks like a dot. It just purely looks like a dot. Look. There it is. You see that? You see it? I don't know if you can see it. Track my arrow. I don't know if you can see my arrow, but people have it's okay. They've slowed it down. There it is. It appears, and it just goes straight that way. Now, it could be a drone, but you can't really see any propellers or anything. Could it be just a little piece of dust? I don't know. I mean, it's not a bird. It's definitely not a bird, because you can't see any wings flapping. At the moment, it is highly unusual, and no one knows exactly what that was. But this just ties in with the Queen's Jubilee, because this is literally as these planes were flying over the Buckingham Palace. And there's another object that emerges here. If you note, in this cloud area, look there. You see that? There's another dot that emerges there, and again, unexplained. Nobody knows.
Beginning to like you, Banksy.
Now I say that. Now there you go. You see, that was the dot there.
On Friday, don't drive. I'm taking you out. I'm taking you to a club.
Look, there it is again. There's the object. It comes in. I mean, it can't be an object that is just simply, like a piece of rubbish or anything. I mean, it just can't be just a natural object, because it just appears, and then it sweeps down.
Look at Sam M. He's trying to hold you down. Look
what
at
does
him.
it
He's
say?
got you by the ankles, like
We've lost Banksy.
To the bottom of the river. Still be a bottom feeder with Sam M. And Sam M, I gave you the big up on Monday for
conspiracy style
in the chat, and now look at him. He's got you by the ankle. He's pulling your pants down.
I know. You can. I'm still in your camp, Sam. Don't worry. I'm not going all crazy. I'm just simply pointing out that actually, if you go back to the footage, because there's more I want to show you. Let me get through this, and then we'll move on, because there is actually other things I want to display. Okay. So first of all, this was the object. Now, this clearly isn't just some debris or some bird or something. This is something else. Again, UFO, I just want to remind everyone, simply stands for unidentified flying object. It could very well be, and it could be a very plausible explanation for this. But at the moment, it is an unidentified flying object, and it looks like there's some degree of, it's not something that's just randomly falling. It comes into shot and it clearly flies out of shot. It's not just something falling from the sky. I was thinking maybe some jet or something threw something out above these jets, and it just happens to be coming across this path. But it doesn't seem to be that way. It does seem to have a trajectory. Now, this was another object above a. No, this is not the Jubilee. This is another the similar type of Tic Tac looking objects above another jet. I forgot where actually. Let me put on the sound. The person who's talking about it will.
Completely sealed off for this special event. This footage actually.
Well, that's the other thing as well. This airspace was completely sealed off, so you couldn't fly a drone. Like a civilian person couldn't fly a drone around here. So again, this was not a scenario where any asshole could fly anything they wanted. This was a very special occasion.
It reminds me of a very recent UFO sighting that I covered over Miami Beach, Florida.
There you go. This was
approximately a week ago, and was also witnessed by thousands of people at both events, and the footage was also broadcasted live. So we have two totally different air shows in 1 week, one in the United States and one in England. If you enjoy,
yeah, you can follow Finding UFO. I'll give full credit to Finding UFO, but I would like to simply go to another. Not that one. This one. Now, this is from the TV show 60 Minutes, but this was a sighting that was recorded by American Air Force, the Navy, and this is not just some random idiots on the internet. These are American fighter pilots. These are not, they don't let you fly a 70 million pound jet if you're an idiot. These are very intelligent, highly qualified people at the top of their game, because, as I said, to become an American fighter pilot in the Navy, I don't know if you guys have seen the recent movie Top Gun that was released, Maverick, plus the original Top Gun. Yeah, these are extremely talented, extremely intelligent people.
Women fly these things nowadays.
Yes, they do. And in fact, one of the pilots who saw this UFO was a woman. She was piloting the second jet. Out of the 3 jets, she was piloting the second one. And this is what was recorded by the third, because the U.S. Navy has been tracking these objects for 2 weeks before they sent out these jets. And this was the third jet who managed to actually get a lock on it and actually track this object, which is flying at this level. I think it was this was flying at about 12 to 18,000 feet, whilst the other jets were at about 25 or 30,000, 25, I think, 25,000 feet. But this is the U.S. Navy, and these are the pilots. This is one of the guys, I think this was the one who actually recorded it, and this was the other chap. Hold on. This is the location. I'm just skipping now because I want to get to this is what the actual pilots witnessed because they were told to go out and look at this. The Navy had been tracking this. Initially they were going to go out and do some practice maneuvers, training maneuvers, but then they were recalled and told, forget about the training, go and investigate this. And this is what they went and did. And literally one of the pilots, the first one, who actually was coming down, sort of, because they were above the object. So the object was about 15,000 feet. They were about 20,000 feet. And the pilot started to descend to come and see what this is. And as it descended, the object started to ascend towards the plane. And as they got about, I forgot how many thousand feet, they were like a few thousand feet apart, and the pilot says the object just simply vanished. It just vanished. It didn't move, it didn't go up, it didn't come down, it didn't go left or right, it just disappeared. And both pilots confirmed this. So again, we're not talking about that. The pilot this is the female pilot that saw this. She was the second, in the second plane. And this is the first guy, the guy with the buttoned up suit, the white hair. He was the one who was descending towards the plane. I'm not playing the videos with voice because it's copyrighted material. It's 60 minutes, but go ahead and check this out. Now, I saw this guy on the Joe Rogan show. That's where I started investigating this whole story, because he was actually on the Joe Rogan telling the story, but then the Joe Rogan didn't really play the video properly, so then I started looking for the video of the actual object. So yeah, this is the female pilot, and yes, women can be great pilots, so fuck you, Manny, and your misogynistic ways. This is when this was like some clips of them taking off. I'm not sure if it's actually that same day. It could be just stock footage. But yeah, these were the two pilots who were told to go out and investigate this by the U.S. Navy. I'd highly recommend for you guys to go out and check this out for yourselves. Navy pilots describe encounter with UFOs. Shit's real. This shit is for real. I mean, whether it's a man-made object or not a man-made object, I don't know. But these pilots encountered an aerial vehicle that is not on any inventory of any U.S. military inventory, and I doubt the Russians or the Chinese have anything that could simply vanish or maneuver the way this did, and they can outmaneuver American jets. So we don't know what it is, because the thing is, there's senators who are actually calling to have this investigated, because this is an act of war, effectively, on the U.S. Sovereignty of the U.S. airspace, because they were in U.S. airspace without permission, and no one can describe what the propulsion system of this vehicle is. So, if anything, this is national security for the United States. So they should, be looking into this, because they've invaded, effectively, American airspace. So anyway, so there you go. There's my two pieces of conspiracy theories for you. You go ahead and crack one out to that, Manny. Have a good night.
Well, good to have you on board. I just want to, I think Victoria West, Sam M, Mr. Prolectigi, and
Mr.
Ligdoodle.
Proctology.
Difficulty working this out, so I'm just going to take 10 seconds to explain it. Bah, 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 bah. I hope you understand, and we'll move forward. Any questions, let us know. So there's a bit of a, how can I put this? A political situation in India. Right, let me share my screen. Where a member of the BJP party. So the BJP party is basically the Democrats, a communistic type Hindu nationalist party that want India just for Hindus. So this lady here on the top left hand side is a member of that party, and she's in a debate, and some of these gentlemen are Muslim. Now I'm going to play it, and I'm going to try to translate what she says. My Hindi isn't great, but I'll give it a go.
Ravika ji, they should be told to shut up and stop insulting our religion. Otherwise, they are very capable of hitting them wearing birds.
Yes, I know that she's speaking English. That's not what I meant.
Example, they may want to call it a favara as much as they want. Reality is, even the Supreme Court ordered protection of the immediate area. आजकल तो अपनी देखा नहीं, सड़कों पे, अरे आप छोड़ो, तुम्हारे उड़ते हुए घोड़े, and earth is flat.
So she's basically referring to Muhammad being on a horse when he went up to the moon. So he's saying, so when she's saying ulte pe gore, I believe that she means the flying horse. So she said, you're taking the liberties with our religion, and you want me to talk about your religion. So she's referring to Muhammad marrying a 6-year-old and having
Aisha's marriage.
Aisha's marriage and sleeping and having sex with a 9-year-old. So she's there referring to the section in the Quran which refers to this, or so she says. So she's referring again to the flying horse.
Let's just calm down. Let's just calm down. All I want to say is that if this country is to be run by the constitution, if this country is to be run by the rule of law, then clearly, if it is not identified as...
So that's basically the debate. Now let's have a look at the reaction to that.
Today is the day.
Oh, for God's sake. Sorry.
Triggered by
ad blocker.
Escalate. While more Arab countries have condemned her comments on the Prophet Muhammad, FIRs and death threats are piling up against the BJP's suspended spokesperson.
So, see, she's the backfire from that debate and her remarks, which she was quoting, as you heard, she's saying from the Islamic texts themselves. So she's receiving death threats, and an FIR is basically a criminal complaint. And when a FIR is registered against a person in India, then the police must arrest that person and bring them into questioning.
Nupur Sharma has been summoned by the police in Maharashtra. Are these reactions forcing a massive churn and consternation within the BJP?
Now, I just want to say, like I stated earlier, the BJP is actually a Hindu nationalist party. They are equivalent to the Democrats. They do not see India being a country for anyone else but Hindus, hence why they're the Hindu Nationalist Party. And they are, how can we say, teamed up with a group called the RSS. So just like the Democrats had a military arm called the KKK, actual historical fact, the RSS is the military arm of the BJP.
The outrage is growing by the day. Regardless of their apology, regardless of party action, and regardless of India's rejection of criticism by the 57-member Organization of the Islamic Conference. The diplomatic storm over the remarks of Nupur Sharma and Naveen Jindal continues to build up in the Islamic world. A close ally of India and home to more than 3 million Indian expats. The United Arab Emirates is the latest Muslim country to condemn the former BJP leader's remarks about the Prophet Muhammad. The statement from this key Arab partner came barely months after India and the UAE signed a broad agreement to increase their annual trade to $100 billion within 5 years.
So, as we've seen, the leader of the BJP, who has been known to be a big critic of the Muslim community, and that's just putting it mildly, is now more worried about the economy than his own objective of his party. But let's just watch this, because this is something amazing is going to be shown in here. This is another video still concentrating on the reaction from that debate.
Policy has two sides. One side is right, the other is wrong. There is no gray area in between. Well, not in this case. This is a story where all sides are wrong, some more than others, but wrong nonetheless. Let's start with a recap. The date is May.
So let me just forward it a little bit.
Summon Indian envoys. In Kuwait, things went further. Take a look at these pictures. These are Indian goods being removed from supermarkets. Spices, food grains, all sorts of Indian commodities were taken off the shelves. Now, this was an unofficial boycott. It was not announced by the Kuwait government, but it should be a warning sign. Gulf states have a history of embargoes and boycotts. If that happens, India has a lot to lose.
So, what I found very interesting is from there, different country, different politics, different everything really, but the historical fact, because the lady was quoting the Islamic scriptures themselves. She wasn't making it up. Obviously, she delivered it in a very derogatory, bad-tempered way, but nonetheless, Muslims themselves know that what she quoted was exactly, you know, as far as they are concerned, a fact. However, the Muslim community or the nation, different Islamic nations, have acted in a way that either they are embarrassed of this fact, or they just want to cover it up. I don't know what the issue is, because I thought Muslims were actually proud of their religion. I thought to walk away or not stand in line with, is it called a sunnah, was kind of very hypocritical and seen as something only bad Muslims or weak Muslims do. But here we are, these Islamic nations doing exactly that. Banksy, you're more of a specialist than me. Your opinion, please.
Okay. Well, I mean, you. What was I was not last weekend, but the weekend before. I was debating with, talking to Abbas from the EF Dawa, one of the Dawa guys, about the whole thing about Aisha's marriage and age of consent in Islam, and I've been trying to do a review of that. Actually, I've been thinking about sitting down and doing a review, because ultimately these Muslims were so verbose. They went on for hours, but they never answered any of the questions that I asked, and they just bored me effectively to submission. But the fact is that most of the time, Muslims themselves, have to admit to certain things, that they believe in these things, but what I was thinking was, because at that point in that particular video, Abbas said to me he was offended because I made some jokes about Jordan M's sister, and I made a video taking the piss out of her, and he was all offended. And I was thinking to myself, and I said to him at the time, I don't apologize for any jokes I make, because he wanted me to apologize to Jordan. But what I was thinking was, when he said I'm offended, in reflection, 2020 is always, hindsight is always 2020, is that Islam is, and Muslims are, the forever offended religion anyway. They're the religion of the forever offended. So it doesn't matter whether this lady said something in anger but factual or not. You say anything about Islam, Muslims are always offended. They are constantly offended. So really, in a weird way, I think this is the beauty of them constantly being offended, is that it desensitizes people to Muslims being offended, because they're like, oh, here we go again. Muslims are offended again. And so eventually Muslims claiming being offended is not going to mean shit. I mean, Hatun has destroyed Muslims, credibility of, oh, we're offended, because she's gone there week after week and slapped them in the face with cartoons of Muhammad, with Charlie Hebdo cartoons. She's drilled holes in the Quran. She's done things that, it would be outrageous. I mean, if Hatun had done the things she'd done on Indian TV, imagine that level of offense. So I think Muslims being constantly offended is actually a good thing now, because it's just going to desensitize everyone else. Because it's not that we care, it doesn't matter if Muslims get offended. The problem is that they're claiming to be offended. Oh, sorry, are you playing something? I think you were playing something.
Sorry, my bad.
Yeah.
Please continue.
Them being offended is affecting other people. So other people, like, I'll give you an example right now. Share my screen and I will show you what I mean about the offense, the religion of the forever offended. Here's another example of the religion of the forever offended. Cineworld cancels the Lady of Heaven film screening after protests, because Muslims, not all Muslims by the way, this is specifically Sunni Muslims, started protesting this movie, because this movie is made by a Shia director and it is about one of Muhammad's daughters. I don't know what the film is. I don't know how respectful it is or how disrespectful it is to this narrative, but it comes from a Shia perspective of the Muhammad's life and husband, wives and children, because Shias have a very different set of hadiths, hadiths to the Muslims, the Sunnis. The Sunnis follow Bukhari and Muslim, and then they've got commentary from various different people, but the Shiites have their own version of events, effectively. And so this movie was made from a Shia perspective of those particular events. And so the Sunnis have lost their shit. This isn't even a Muslim, like, you can't call this a Muslim protest. They are Muslim, but they are Sunni Muslim protests, protesting against Shia's interpretation. And actually outside the mosque, the report I heard was that they were shouting Shia, Shia, Kafir, Shia, which means, Shias are Kafirs. They're not actually Muslim, which is the derogatory term they use against all non-believers. They're saying, Shias are non-believers. Now, of course, that's offensive to Shia Shia Muslims, because it is what it is. But nevertheless, these what appears to be majority Sunni, possibly Pakistani, and mostly I think it would be I would say it would probably be majority Pakistani, but perhaps other Sunni Muslims are protesting a movie that's coming from a Shia perspective, and Cineworld has decided to cancel all the screenings. Although in this BBC article, now I haven't read all of it, but it comes down to you can actually watch it at The View. The View hasn't barred it yet. So anyone out there, I'm actually quite tempted to go this weekend and see if I can get a screening of this at The View.
There's a link flying around in Speaker's Corner online. Somebody's giving it out. You can watch
the actual movie.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we don't encourage piracy, so it is best to support movie makers and content creators. But nevertheless,
I don't even know that the link works. I haven't watched it.
I'm sure I can find it if I wanted to look for it. But either way, it's interesting to see that the Muslims and their I'm actually not even. I'm looking
it's
at something
okay.
else.
It was coming from the computer. I've muted that now.
No, I'm talking about my I was on Speaker's Corner online, and I was also broadcasting the messages, the private messages that I was getting, so that's awesome. But yeah, either way, this is insult is not freedom of speech. This is your typical Muslim, forever offended. Muslims are forever offended, and it is what it is. So in all honesty, I just think that this is just, I think this is a good thing, actually. I think this is actually a good thing, because I think that people are going to get more and more desensitized to Muslims being forever offended. And eventually, the Muslims themselves, I mean, the problem right now is that Muslims are incredibly violent about this. And so Muslims will kill people. Muslims will smash. And this is the reason Cineworld is saying. The reason that they've actually done this, they stopped the screening, is Cineworld has cancelled all UK screenings of film about the daughter of the Prophet Muhammad after it prompted protests outside some cinemas. The cinema chain said it made the decision to ensure the safety of our staff and customers. That's what it really comes down to, is that Muslims are incredibly violent when it comes to their offense. They're not just offended, they are violent about it. And that is what is being exposed throughout the world, is that Muslims who, supposedly take their religion seriously are incredibly violent. And so it will come with time. Don't get me wrong. It will come with time. Islam has to reform. These Muslims have to get their shit together, because eventually all prisons will be filled with Muslims, effectively, if they don't. And that's fine with me. In fact,
no, come on, that's ridiculous. You can't say things like that.
Well, no. All I'm saying is that every time they get offended, they protest, they become violent, they get arrested, and they get put in jail. So how many times that's going to have to happen in order for Muslims to realize, I don't want to spend my life in prison?
You can't make blanket statements like that. But
it's not blanket statements. It's this. I see it as a chain of conclusions, chain of events. They become offended. Someone does something that offends Muslims. Muslims then protest. Muslims then become violent. Then they get put in prison for that violence. So eventually, you're going to get most of your prisons filled with Muslims, because they've committed violent acts over being offended. So eventually,
Muslim though.
Sorry?
That's not every single Muslim though.
Nobody says every. Who says every of anything? I mean, no, I didn't say. I said eventually your prisons will be filled with Muslims. And if this course of event continues to happen, if this cycle of protest, offense, protest, violence continues, well, what's going to happen? What's the logical conclusion to that? You're going to have a massive population of Muslims in your jails, and eventually some Muslims are going to be like, look, me being offended isn't worth my life being destroyed by having a prison record, by having all of this on my head.
Okay, moving forward, talking of immigration and all that, got a very interesting video to show. Now, let me ask you, Banksy, have you heard of this new this new solution? Have you heard about the new solution of sending illegal immigrants over to Rwanda to be processed? Have you heard of that?
Oh yeah, that was announced while I was actually in Cyprus, or just before I left to go to
And
Cyprus.
he's still fucking let you back in. And right, so picture this: a plane's going to Rwanda with a plane full of illegal immigrants, and that's a British plane. What do you think is going to come back on the plane?
What do you mean? What's going to come back off on the plane?
So
you mean Rwandans?
747 takes illegal immigrants over to Rwanda for the UK government to process. That plane is not going to come back empty. Who do you think is going to come back on that plane?
But you think that they're going to bring a whole bunch of just random Rwandans back on the plane?
Let's find out. Got to speed it up a little bit.
I dare say that viewers will have seen the artificially created excitement and fuss in the newspapers about the proposed flight to Rwanda from this country, which has been penciled in for June 14th. The idea is, of course, that 40 or 50 people whose request for asylum has not been accepted in Britain will be deported to the African country of Rwanda. There are 2 points to bear in mind about this. The first being, of course, that with all the challenges on the grounds of human rights being violated, the chances are very slim indeed that any flights will actually take place either this month or the next, or probably throughout the whole of the summer. That's pretty well a given. Believe it or not, that is a good thing for Britain. Why do I say this? Because I think that I must be the only person in the entire country who has actually read the agreement which Home Secretary Priti Patel signed with Rwanda. In a description to this video, I'll give a link to the government website where viewers can read this document for themselves. I think that some people's jaws might hit the ground when they do so. Let me explain. We all think that however small the numbers involved, and we're talking merely hundreds here, that the net result of such deportation flights will be to reduce the total number of refugees and asylum seekers in this country, right? Well, I'm afraid this is not what has been agreed at all. Looking at the agreement, we scroll down to paragraph 16, which reads as follows. 16. Resettlement of vulnerable refugees. The participants will make arrangements for the United Kingdom to resettle a portion of Rwanda's most vulnerable refugees in the United Kingdom, recognising both participants' commitments towards providing better international protection for refugees. Who are these vulnerable refugees whom Britain has agreed to settle in this country? I'm glad you asked me that. I give a link to a United Nations document which tells us all about the 126,180 refugees and asylum seekers who are in Rwanda, or were at the end of October 2021, there's probably more now, and whom, by the way, they are desperately keen to get rid of because they're a burden on the country. Who are the most vulnerable of these refugees? The ones that Britain has agreed to take in exchange for the asylum seekers they're hoping to fly to Rwanda? Again, the United Nations document, which I give a link, helps us to understand. We read there of the 1,198 refugees from the Congo with specific needs, i.e. disability, older persons at risk, persons with medical condition, those with disability, children with disabilities, those who are mentally ill, others who are dying and in need of palliative care, and other specialised medical assistance. Britain has signed an agreement that for every asylum seeker we fly to Rwanda, we will bring back one of those vulnerable refugees to our country in exchange. If we land 50 refugees of our own in Rwanda, then the plane will fly back to this country with 50 of the most vulnerable refugees in the Congo and Burundi. The catch in this agreement, which nobody seems to want to talk about, is therefore twofold. Not only are we not going to reduce the number of refugees and asylum seekers in Britain, no matter how many people we deport to Rwanda, we are exchanging healthy and able-bodied young men in the main for children with serious disabilities, the dying, the mentally ill, old, capable, people who will pose a huge burden on the NHS and other public services in this country.
Right. Okay, so let's have a look at these documents. So he's paragraph 16. He said, so sorry, let me go back up and show everybody. So this is the UK government website, UK.gov. Let me paste this link for everybody who is interested in this type of thing. There's the link to the government website. And he mentioned paragraph 16, unless my, here we go. Resettlement of vulnerable refugees. The participant will make arrangements for the United Kingdom to resettle a portion of Rwanda's most vulnerable refugees in the United Kingdom, recognizing both participants' commitment towards providing a better international protection for refugees. Okay, now he also referred to the UN document to outline who these are. Again, I am not a evidence denier. I am like Banksy, an evidence provider now. And that is the link to the UN document, and you guys can read what they regard is the person that should be coming over. Now, of course, I'm not saying that these people don't need help. If somebody's poorly and we can help somebody, we should of course provide help and assistance, especially medical care or any care. Though not through war. My point is quite simple, that how they are really pulling the wool over our eyes, and how the media is actually controlled by not even investigating this, and by showing and not showing exactly what the agreement is. And as the gentleman has shown right there, the agreement is to send illegal immigrants coming on boats from France to the UK to be sent over to Rwanda, and then as the flight is turning around and coming back, they bring Rwandan medically ill people back over. And it's not that, it's just a case of helping the poorly people, is to eventually settle them here. And some of them will need palliative care, which is basically they're on their deathbed. Now, people who are normally on their deathbed are not allowed to fly. So I'm not sure how that's going to work out. But there you go. Have a look at that. I think Banksy's gone to wash his bum. Banksy, are you there? Oh, he's back. I thought you got to...
No. Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, I mean, that's going to... Yeah, that's not really going to help. That's not going to solve the problem that we're trying to solve here with these refugees. Now, it will solve one problem, which is it will discourage because you see the thing is ultimately, Manny, we don't have a conservative government in this country. We don't have any conservative government of any sort. Political parties are both liberal lefties. It's just one is a center left and the other one is far left. We don't have a center right or right really conservative government. So what they're doing is effectively all they're trying to do is they still want the same level of immigration. They'll just replace those people on the boats with Rwandans on the plane, by the sounds of this. It's just that what they're going to do is they're going to discourage the human traffickers, because anyone who wants to pay a human trafficker to come over to Britain will know that you're going to end up in Rwanda. So the human trafficking will come to an end, but the number of people coming to Britain, I don't think is going to, by the looks of this, at least certainly if this information is correct, it's not going to change by one person. It's not going to, fluctuate at all. It's still going to have the same number of people coming into Britain, except now they'll be even worse than the healthy young refugees, because at least those healthy young men may be able to contribute to the community, to the society, may be able to get a job, may be able to at least do some manual labor work, whilst these are going to be the ill, sick, the most downtrodden. They're guaranteed not to pay a single penny into the system, and they will simply be using all the services of the NHS. So they'll put a bigger burden on the NHS, not pay anything into the system, but discourage, I guess, human traffickers. Now, the other side of this is, from what I understand, is Britain will pay £30,000 per refugee to Rwanda to actually for their upkeep, to put them up in some sort of housing, to give them some kind of a start effectively in Rwanda. So even these refugees that are going to, these illegal immigrants, I don't even say refugee, I don't even know why I'm using the word refugee. These are all economic immigrants. Nobody that comes to Britain is a refugee because because if they were genuine refugees, they would be housed and they would look for shelter, safety in the first safe country they come to. If you're coming from France, you're not coming from a war-torn country. So you clearly are coming here because of the economics of this country. You're not coming because you have no other way to go. You had like 6 other countries, 10 other countries you came through. This is why Britain doesn't have to, we're not getting a massive influx of Ukrainians. Poland is getting a massive influx of Ukrainians. Sweden and Germany are. And in fact, the Ukrainian women are asking not to be taken to Sweden anymore. Because in Sweden, they are getting so much harassment and potential like rape attacks from the Muslim communities or the refugee communities or the immigrant communities in Sweden. They're told, the Swedish government told the Ukrainian women who are the actual refugees to dress modestly, don't dress provocatively, don't wear short skirts and short shorts, because they're going to get abused.
Okay.
They're going to get raped.
We've got so much more to get through, Banks. I'm gonna have to.
Okay, go.
So let's share my screen. So actually, before we share my screen, I've got a question for you. What's it called when a man kills a woman? Oh, honor killing. Yeah. What is an honor killing? What do you understand as an honor killing?
Well, I mean, this is I wouldn't say. I mean, most people would think this is a Muslim thing. This is actually a Middle Eastern to Indian, even Indian subcontinent issue, and even probably to some extent African issues, because they have an honor culture, honor and shame culture, and so if holding the honor of the of the community of your family is at the highest of the highest order. So if you in any way disparage or besmirch the good name of your family, then your parents most likely might kill you.
Well, what must happen?
What do you mean? What must happen?
What must a woman do?
Well, I mean, it could be a variety of things. There are women young girls who've been honor killed because they didn't want to wear a hijab. They were honor killed because they wanted to marry a non-Muslim.
Well, what is the main reason? Do you know?
I guess it all depends. Even Hindu families have honor killed their children. It's usually, as I say, if you don't want to follow the societal norms or what your parents tell you to do.
From my research, it seems to be when the woman either has an affair or goes off with somebody that the family didn't agree with and flaunts in their eyes that relationship within the community. That, from my research, is basically what nearly every single honor killing is. Now, let me show you this article, and you tell me how different is this. Stop sharing. Let me share again. So on that basis, this is a Daily Mail. Okay. Jealous woman, 23, who knifed man in the head when he found him in bed with a love rival at a party. Moments after he rejected her, avoids jail. Blah blah blah. Okay, so they weren't married as such. But the point is, isn't the formula the same? Where in an honor killing, it's a jealous husband.
No.
Who attempts to murder, whereas this case, a woman stabbed a man in the head after she found him having sex with a love rival at a party just moments after he rejected her as an avoidable jail. Surely the principle is the same, though of course not quite the same.
No, this is not honor killing. Even if a man who's found his wife with another man and attempts to kill her or kills her actually, and her lover, that's not honor killing. Honor killing is actually quite often done by the parents of the woman. If quite often you'll find the father, the mother, and possibly brothers and uncles that are involved in that. Those are the typical honor killing type of things that we talk about. When someone says to me honor killing, I'm not thinking of a jealous man who found his wife in bed with another woman. He's found his wife in bed with another man, or even a jealous girlfriend who finds her boyfriend in bed with another woman. That's not honor killing. Honor killing is to recoup the honor of the family because your daughter, or even to some extent sometimes son, has ruined the good name of your family in the eyes of the community.
Wendy makes a good point. Wendy says honor killings are planned. That is the key. One of the key.
That's the other thing as well. Yeah.
Yeah, they very much are planned, and like you say, the family is often involved in that. But believe it or not, if you go away and read up on all the reports, it seems to be the majority of them is an affair is involved or a relationship which is being carried out within the same community or geographical area as the family. It seems to be kind of an overlap of all the different ones, which I found very interesting. Okay, look, let's move on. We've got loads to do, Banks. We're going to have to zip through these.
Yeah, we're already at an hour. Christ, that was so quick.
Hour. If we don't do this, we're going to regret it. But I suppose Raj is missing out on this one.
Turkey and Pakistan, these two countries share good diplomatic ties. A number of bilateral agreements and memoranda of understanding are in place between the two sides. The two nations have enhanced cooperation in trade, economy, and communication. However, there is a strange controversy brewing between Pakistan and Turkey. Hashtags like Pakistani perverts and Pakistani get out started trending on Turkey's social media platforms. This comes after several videos had emerged allegedly showing Pakistani men sharing inappropriate videos of women and children. These videos were allegedly shared on TikTok. Pakistani men living in Turkey reportedly shared questionable videos. And in the TikTok videos, they were seen stalking Turkish women. The fear is because of such behavior of some Pakistani men, refugees from Afghanistan would suffer.
So, very quickly, your thoughts on that, Banks?
It's quite interesting that the same sort of complaints that Europeans make about the foreigners or the migrants that come to their countries and do these sort of things, hound women. This is happening Muslim on Muslim. This is a Muslim country. Turkey is a Muslim country, and it's becoming increasingly more Islamic. And Pakistani men are doing the same sort of things. So it's not a Muslim. I mean, this hurts me to say, but this is not a Muslim in a sense that you can say this is a Muslim thing, but this is a cultural phenomena. Because the funny thing is, those same Turkish men who are complaining about Pakistani men doing these to their women and children would come to Europe, would go to Germany and do that to the German women, and do that to Swedish women. So this is amazing. The irony here is that those Turkish men who complain about those things in Turkey about their women would do it to other women of Swedish or German or Dutch descent. So this is quite interesting to see this, because I hope that maybe these Muslim countries who are now getting a taste of what the European countries were getting will start to recognize what this problem is, and this problem is a bunch of young men who are just going around in different countries in the world harassing women effectively.
All right, next video, Banks.
We're prepared for what Biden throws our way. And, yes, part of it's the inflation and the gas. Part of it are intentionally destructive policies, like trying to deny school lunch programs for states that don't do transgender ideology. And the schools, I mean, give me a break. Totally off his rocker to be doing that. We're fighting on that. Don't worry. So we're just prepared to be able to defend the taxpayers and the hardworking people in the state of Florida. And I couldn't be prouder for doing that. We're prepared for what Biden throws our way.
That. Repeating it.
Your thoughts on that about food being denied to school children because their school is not promoted transgenderism?
Ridiculous. This is absolutely unbelievable that America is now at that stage when it comes to this gender ideology. Now, there's two things I want to point out. I'm going to do a show myself, maybe today, maybe tomorrow, maybe later on tonight. I don't know if I feel like it. About the movie that's come out called "What Is a Woman" by Matt Walsh and the Daily Wire crew. I don't know if you've heard about it or seen it. I've seen it. It's very interesting. Actually, there's another film that I would recommend for you and others to watch called 12 Mules, which was made by Denish D'Souza.
Can we move this forward, Banksy? Can we just have your thoughts on that? So we can get to. I've got.
It's ridiculous. They should stop.
And I need your opinion on every single one of them. But you are getting comfortable. It's like, come on, dude, give me your thoughts.
It's terrible. They should not be pushing gender ideology to children, and they should not be bribing them with food. That you would only get food if you follow the gender, if you toe the liberal line. So yeah, no, this is ridiculous.
Tell me how I can never drive a car while flying in by a private jet and helicopter. They want to increase digital surveillance and digital ID, and yet there they are, hidden behind their own little tiny secure zone. So they want to know and see every single aspect of our lives and monitor what we're doing while they themselves get privacy, because only the rich deserve privacy. And again, they want an open borders policy. That's what they're pushing. Again, they're hidden behind their little secure zones. They want gun control so people can't defend themselves, yet in there all of the armed police had loads of guns. I mean, this whole entire thing with the World Economic Forum is so grotesquely undemocratic. It's unbelievable. I mean, these are unelected people who are unaccountable to the public, sitting behind their little secure zones within accredited media. And the fun fact about those media is that the people that were the accredited media, so the only ones that were actually allowed to be in there and ask the questions, were also sponsoring the events and also had guests that were invited as part of the conference, not for the media team. So how on earth can we trust these people to be honest and to be transparent and to ask the questions that we need? I mean, it is.
So we've obviously covered the World Economic Forum a number of times. We've pointed out their flaws. I thought this lady hits the nail on the head. Your thoughts on that, please, Banks?
Yep, absolutely. And I think there's also Avi Yemeni, who's done some fantastic work in Davos. But also, I wanted to point out that whilst everybody was celebrating the Jubilee, the Bilderberg Group held their meeting from the Thursday the 2nd till Sunday the 5th of June. So their meeting was also being held whilst everybody was effectively, drugged by this Jubilee business. All the headlines were dominated by the Jubilee, but the Bilderbergs were all at work in that period.
Awesome. Right. Let's have a look at Trudeau before he was elected, talking about gun control.
A large puzzle that counteracts crime, but by making guns something that we can track. I mean, the fear in here is that the first step towards registering your guns is just the first step towards taking away guns from everyone. That's never going to happen because here in Canada we have a culture that has grown up with guns and it respects the need to go out and shoot things from time.
There you go. You heard it from the traitor's mouth himself. Banksy, that registering for guns is the first step of controlling gun ownership. Your thoughts? And are you pro defense or are you a communist?
No, you're not setting up any false dichotomy here or anything, are you? I'm glad that the choices are just so fair. Yes, I agree with Second Amendment in America. I think I wish we had a constitution with that kind of amendment in Britain. Although I think that the Canadians, they themselves are doing this to themselves. They re-elected this individual. Canada, whether the Conservatives of Canada like this or not, Canadians seem to want this, and unfortunately, I'm not. I'm basically, I don't know why people are getting so hung up on Canada, like Trudeau being a dictator and acting like a dictator and doing all this. Like you sit around worrying about Uzbekistan or Kazakhstan's dictatorships. Do I sit around and have a proud brow over what's going on in I don't know, Vietnam? No, these places are all dictatorships. They're all run by dictators. Canada is now. I'm firmly putting Canada, if not on the road to dictatorial rule, certainly, already a dictatorship, certainly on the road to dictatorial dominance. Because Justin Trudeau and all his staff and the young Canadian politicians that are coming up, they are all, if you go and look it up, they're all on the World Economic Forum. These people are all in with the World Economic Forum, fully lock, stock and barrel. So they are going to implement effectively the wishes of the World Economic Forum in Canada. And Canada is going to become the first canary down the minefield. Canada is the canary down the minefield. If you want to see your future and how the World Economic Forum, what plans they have for your country, look to Canada. Canada is going to be the first to implement all the wishes of Schwab Webb, or whatever.
Let's move forward.
Haven't been on a date in years? Are you still upset that the cool kids bullied you in junior high school? Mixed race and yearning for the street cred of the homies? Or maybe you're just an angry, radicalized woman who lacks the skills and allure that Kamala Harris used to attract a Willie Brown. Hi, my name is Dr. Van Jones. I am the head of DIE for the Alphabet Mafia. DIE stands for Diversity, Inclusion, and Equity. DIE. Does that sound fun? If you're bitter about your life, you're mad about the way God made you, and you're a total loser, then you are a prime candidate to become a made man or made woman in the Alphabet Mafia. You want to know more about us? We're a for-profit coalition of organizations funded by George Soros. Our Black Lives Matter, LGBTQ, and critical race theory all rolled into one. We burn and loot cities. We redefine marriage, and we're also in the process of redefining and expanding gender identities. If you have a writing flair, you would be a good fit at the New York Times. We're rewriting history, and we're helping Americans understand that this country is a massive failure. Do you have a violent criminal history? Maybe you've done time in prison for pedophilia, rape, maybe even some domestic violence, and you can't find the right job in corporate America? No problem. At DIE, you're a perfect candidate to loot, burn, and terrorize black communities. You could be the next Joseph Rodenbaum. So don't miss your chance to kill America. Call us right now at 1-800-555-MARA. That's 1-800-555. Let's all make America racist again.
All right, moving forward without any comment, let's watch this one.
I am gay. I am my authentic self.
I am a queer woman.
I am a transgender woman.
I am a lesbian.
I am gay and I'm my authentic self. I'm a parent of a transgender son and I'm very proud.
I knew I wanted to be in science ever since I was a little kid. I felt that it was really important to be my most authentic self, especially knowing that this was my dream. Queer people can dream big.
Exploration needs to be for everybody. Every person, every kid, if they can see themselves, the astronauts that we send out in space, but also in the teams that make that possible, then we're doing our job. We're doing incredibly difficult and complicated things. We want people that look at things from a different perspective, that can bring us, new ways of solving problems, and diverse and inclusive teams do that.
If someone is in the closet.
So that's enough of that. Obviously, the first video was rather comical and he was taking the mick, though it was probably more accurate than this last one. What are your thoughts with these corporations? And I mean, NASA's a money laundering operation, but let's not go down that road. I mean, what do you think of these corporate type entities creating these videos, spending thousands, tens of thousands of pounds, kind of creating this environment where they are promoting transgenderism, homosexuality, but not really giving any space to normal straight people, and balancing everything? What's your thought process? But I don't want to upset you. I know you like posting these type of videos on your channel yourself.
First of all, yes, I 100% support the LGBT community, and I think gay people should and trans people should have absolutely all the human rights that every other human being has. I don't think that they have the right to indoctrinate children or groom children into this thing. And I would again recommend for people to watch What Is a Woman, because that highlights a lot of this stuff. I might actually take What Is a Woman, the movie, and break it up and put some of the chunks of clips onto Speakers Corner online. I don't know yet, but nevertheless, I support people wanting to live their life and being a human being to live, but you don't come after children. You don't come for people's children. You don't come to groom people's children or indoctrinate them. I don't want a LGBT community indoctrinating children any more than I want Islam or Christianity or Judaism or any religious cult to indoctrinate children.
Well said, Banksy. Let's move forward. This is a good one. I want your thoughts on this afterwards.
X-Files?
Claims about what?
You and everyone you know has a piece of DNA in your genome, put there without your knowing it.
Put there by whom?
Well, that's the question of the day.
This is an internet lunatic. You're not saying you believe him.
Just hold on, Agent Einstein. You're talking to a scientist.
Forgive me, Assistant Director. It may sound insensitive, but the suggestion is pure science fiction.
What I'm saying, Agent Einstein, is that the facts, as I understand them, cannot be discounted out of hand.
No one has the right or the ability to tamper with your DNA.
Unless we gave them that ability.
You say they're tampering with our DNA, that they're able to shut down our immune systems by the addition of something to our DNA.
Yes, but I don't know how exactly.
Or how it's being triggered.
I don't know that either.
Or why it's happening now. What can we possibly do?
We need to act quickly.
You were right about that.
Well, I was wrong about the science. I was wrong about what's causing it. Dead wrong, in fact.
But it's clearly a widespread failure of our immune systems.
Through gene tampering. A virus within a virus that was put there through the smallpox vaccine. It's what these men are calling the Spartan virus.
We have to figure this out. What's wrong with the science?
Okay. The Spartan virus removes the adenosine deaminase gene from your DNA. Removes the ADA gene and your immune system will simply vanish.
Yeah, but I'm not getting sick.
It's only a matter of time.
Okay. So how does it work? How does the virus remove the ADA gene?
A process called
CRISPR-Cas9. RNA and a protein cutting genes at exact locations.
Exactly. But in this instance, used as a weapon.
The ultimate weapon. The ability to depopulate the planet. To kill everyone but the chosen.
By tampering with their DNA.
Through gene editing.
Well then. What do you think they're referring to there, Banksy?
I have no idea. I have no idea what they could be talking about. Look, it's X-Files. It's a TV show. It's not a documentary. This is the same situation as looking at The Simpsons and talking about how Simpsons predicted the future.
Okay, moving forward, I've got a present for you. Yeah, this is a present from me to you, this video. Enjoy, and you can take your time responding to it.
Oh, I've seen this.
Tell you that. But since you seem to forget that, and you're all loud and proud with your big thoughts and your big ideas, and you want to whatever, fucking set up hot tubs in Ottawa. I'm a recruiter. It's a small industry. Smaller than you'd think. Same with HR. So, if you're looking for a job, or maybe trying to keep a job, maybe, just maybe, think about what you're putting on social media. Again, freedom fighters. I know you're not really big with stats and facts aren't your thing, but what I can tell you, what is a fact, is that recruiters talk. And recruiters, like the majority of Canada, don't agree with you. Do you know what that means? Do you have any guesses? Any guesses with it? What that means is that if you need a job, you might not get one. If you want to keep a job, you might not get to do that. And you know what else HR is good at? Documentation. You know what that means? You want to be an asshole. We document it. We give you a couple tries. Then what do? We terminate you. With cause. if we're so lucky. If not, we give you the minimum allowed by law. Either way, best of luck to you. Recruiters are watching, HR is watching, everywhere, and we hate you. We hate you so much. And you think we can't do anything? But we can. We have the power. Always remember that. Doesn't matter if there's a fucking man at the top of your HR department. It's run by women. And it's run by angry women just like me. I'm so glad I got that off my chest. It's been eating me up inside. And honestly, my heart goes out to you guys. I mean, you have families to feed, right? You brought your kids to this big event. You're freedom fighters. You're standing up. Oh, they will be so proud. So proud of you. Fuck yourself. Fuck yourself. Mwah. Love you.
Banksy, first question: would you bang it?
Not even with your dick.
You wouldn't want to wake up to that.
I have a very, very strong a strong line in the sand of do not put your dick in crazy. Never put your dick in crazy. That is clearly crazy. You can't get more crazy than, did you see the eyes on that crazy? Never put your dick in crazy, gentlemen. But yeah, the thing is, this is a reality. I mean, you could say, she's a nut job. By the way, I actually heard somewhere, although it may not be true, that she actually got her job was, I don't know, she either got put on some sort of report, or she actually lost her job as a recruiter because of that video. So actually her talking about how she's going to have screw people over for being conservatives or whatnot got herself into trouble with the HR. But nevertheless, I think that is a truism right there. I mean, I know she sounds insane, but this is why I protect my anonymity as hard as I do, because as long as you're not self-employed, I mean, if you're self-employed, then you're in a different category. But if you're not self-employed, then you have to deal with HR women and recruiters, possibly those that are like her. Very much, quite often, you're going to deal with a lot of liberal-minded recruiters. So your politics you have to keep your politics to your chest, close to your chest. I mean, there are people in my company that I work for, which I couldn't honestly be my authentic self with. The irony of the fact that people say, "Oh, we have to accept everyone. We want everyone to live their authentic life." I can't be my authentic self with my colleagues in my company, because if I tell them about my ideas about what I think about transgender and the LGBT ideology, gender ideology, and then introduction to school children, now some of them might agree with me, but I can't risk that. I honestly will never risk telling anyone my true opinions on gender ideology or critical race theory, because I think most of these things are bullshit, and they're pushing them on kids, and it's absolutely, I think it's bordering child abuse, if not actual child abuse. But nevertheless, I would never say these things to my colleagues, because my company is all about the fucking wokeness, and that's true. And this is why a lot of people don't express their true opinions when it comes to social media anymore. Not under their real name. They do it under pseudonyms and behind avatars, but they won't ever do it in the real world, because they have jobs. Not everybody can be self-employed. Not everybody has money that can be self-sufficient without going to a job. People need jobs, and so here it is. This is why people elevate people like Tommy, because he is taking the bullets and being the shield for people outside. And there it is. There's the clip from the film. What is a woman? I don't know. You want to play the sound on this, or is it copyright issues? No, I think we should be all right. Just don't spoil too much of it. I can't hear a thing, Manny. I don't know if you can hear it.
That we need to start teaching kids about this stuff at such a young age.
My bad. Let me rewind it.
Yeah.
Matt, I want to show this to you. You're a parent, right? Okay. It's perfectly normal for 10 years and up. Here's just one page I want you to see here.
For 10 and up, huh?
It's unspeakable what these people have done to our children.
When did that start? When was it decided that we need to start teaching kids about this stuff at such a young age?
So I'll answer that with one word: Kinsey. Kinsey was a social reformer. He wanted to rid society of Judeo-Christian values when it came to sexuality. And he worked very hard to do that, and I would say he succeeded.
Kinsey would be very happy with our culture today. His idea was that children are sexual from birth, that we're all inherently sexual creatures from cradle to grave. He believed that true happiness is found in a life of perverse sexual experimentation, no matter the age.
What came out is that his research was fraudulent.
Kinsey based his fraudulent conclusions on data he collected from convicted sex offenders and child molesters. His research was conducted in prisons, not everyday America. He also performed horrific sexual experiments on children, some under the age of 1. His most influential book, Sexual Behavior in the Human Male, contains an infamous chart called Table 34, which documents the orgasms of very young kids, including babies as young as 5 months old. But instead of suffering the consequences for his heinous actions, he was and still is celebrated by academia and Hollywood. His ideas form the foundation for sexual education in public schools today. How do we get from this to...
Okay, Manny, we can leave it at that, because I actually want to show you the results, if you like, down the line. If you imagine, if you take a timeline of what was going on with Kinsey and the kind of ideas he proliferated, this is the modern Kinsey conclusions. This is a club which has this guy is interviewing these drag queens, and these are children that are like maybe 10 years. They are giving money as if a man would give money to a stripper. They are literally giving dollar notes. These are babies. Do you see that? These are babies in these mothers' arms, and like 6-7-year-olds are giving tip money to transgenders. Now this particular lady is, a little bit better dressed, but let me forward this a little bit more, because I don't really want to. Look at this. What the hell is that? And the sign behind it says it's not going to lick itself. This is a strip bar where children, literally children, are at a freaking stripper. What kind of insanity is this? How is it that this is happening in this world? This is an adult entertainment center. This is not. And look at this boy. This boy is just like, fuck this, I don't want to be here. He's clearly forced to be there by his parents. This kid has no interest in this whole BS whatsoever. Let me just see if I can. Yeah, there you go. I can't believe this. There were parents with babies in their arms at this strip bar. Effectively, it's a strip bar. That's what this is. It's a freaking strip bar. I mean, let me just play a little bit. Oh, here we go. This was they're doing like a parade. Look at this. That guy. What are you thinking, man? What are you thinking? They're doing like a little runway walk or something with these. Oh my god, this is unbelievable, unfreaking believable. With a massive sign, it's not going to lick itself. Anyway, Manny, go ahead. What do you think?
I want to share my screen. I've got something to show which is related to that. So this image was posted by the news on Speaker's Corner. So it shows a child placing money inside.
That's the same place. That is the same place. This is the place that this is another scene from the same bar that I just showed you the video of.
And then this tweet here, I'll read it out. Kevin Sorbo: can I drive your car? No, you're 5. Can I have a beer? No, you're 5. Can I have a cigarette? No, you're 5. Can I take hormones and change my gender? Of course, you know what's best. And
Yes.
that is a perfect example of the hypocrisy that.
Not only that. The guy who made the movie, Matt Walsh, who made the movie "What Is a Woman," he literally did a video recently where one of the, I think it's a senator or a governor of one of the states in America, they are raising the age of buying a weapon, buying a gun to 21, from 18 to 21, because and now what he said was, I want to know what kind of excuses, what kind of evidence are they going to give to say that an 18-year-old is not responsible enough to have a gun? So we have to have, so we want them to be mature enough at the age of 21 to have a gun, and yet at the same time say an 10-year-old is able to make the decision of having transgender operations, that can make the decision of having hormone blockers. So an 18-year-old isn't responsible enough to own a gun, but a 10-year-old is responsible enough to know what gender they're going to have, and they're going to be put on permanent, life-changing permanent operations like puberty blockers and genital operations of breasts taken off, or genital mutilation, effectively by having their male sex organs removed. All of those sort of things. A 10-year-old can make that decision, but they're not allowed to own a gun at 18. This is the clown world in which we're living in. It's absolute insanity. There is no standard. There is no coherence in these arguments, in these things that these politicians are doing. It makes no sense. It is absolute just insanity. We've gone off the fucking rail. This leftist ideology has gone off the rails. I'm a leftist, but this is fucking nuts.
Indeed it is, my friend. So let's remind people what we have coming up tomorrow. We have Amy's second show coming at 8 o'clock. So every Thursday, Amy K is producing a show for everybody. It was her first show last Thursday. She did a grand job. She's warmed up now and she's ready to go at it full throttle. So that's tomorrow, Thursday, the 9th of June at 8 o'clock. And then Friday, we have a Speaker's Corner extravaganza live from London. I shall be live streaming directly to Speaker's Corner online. Banksy will turn up a little bit later and will be live streaming, on all the platforms that you're watching now, whether it's on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube. And I will be interviewing different people. Now, we are expecting some Speaker's Corner people to be there. It's a surprise which ones they are. You might already know. And there's going to be non-Speaker's Corner people there. And I'm going to try and interview all of them. And we're going to go for a drink afterwards, I believe. And hopefully we'll live stream the whole thing. And we shall get as many secrets out as possible. Perhaps we might even show you Banksy's passport. Is that possible?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, that's exactly, because I'm going to be walking around London with my freaking passport, clearly.
So, Amy K every Thursday, that's tomorrow, and then live streaming directly to Speaker's Corner online. And then from 8 o'clock, we'll be live streaming exactly like we are now to all the different platforms. So, Banksy, that's kind of me done. There's more videos that I wanted to share. Anything that we missed out, you guys can go to Speaker's Corner online. You can download the Android or iOS app, or you can just go to www.speakerscorner.online and go to the news section and look up all these videos and many others that we didn't have time to go through. Banksy, your final thoughts, please, sir.
Can I please ask everyone to hit that like button, because that does help the channel, and we can try to get more attention on these subjects and try to get people diverted to Speaker's Corner online, as many as possible. So please hit that like button. Please share some of these videos if you can with people who are either like-minded or can understand and sympathize that children should not be exposed to strippers and strip clubs. If you think that children shouldn't be in strip bars, please share this video. That should be a fairly easy share on that one. But nevertheless, yeah, guys, I'll be honest. I mean, I see Muslims gleefully pointing out as if they've got some kind of trump card over this. I see Speaker's Corner, Ghost, and all these other idiots talking as if Islam is the solution to this. No, Islam is not the solution to this, because Muslims are selling their children. So no, Islam is not the trump card here. You're not selling anyone Islam.
So not all Muslims are selling the children. When you throw blanket statements, what it does, look, we need to. This is a topic that involves Muslims, Christians, Jews, just basically involves every single type of normal person. Now, sometimes when we throw blanket statements like that, Banksy, what happens is we just continue with the division. They need correcting, we need correcting, and our friends need correcting. Everybody needs some correction within their own community. So, of course, there's issues within the Muslim community, there's issues with the Indian community and the Christian community and so on and so forth. But this is, I see this as a good topic that can bring people together because everybody wants to protect their family. Agreed?
Absolutely. I mean, again, not all. Of course, I'm not saying all Muslims, but the fact is that Muslims, especially when I was talking to Abbas at the Speaker's Corner, he tried to make out as if Islam is the solution to West's problem, to the problems we have in the West. Absolutely, it is not. We have that as a point of record by over 50 Muslim nations who are worse places to live than most Western countries. So no, Islam is not the solution to these problems, because Islam has greater problems than the solutions it provides. There is a solution. It's called becoming rational and reasonable again. It's avoiding religious dogmatic thinking, which is what this gender ideology is. It's going back to actually dealing with science and facts, not delusions, which is again what I think a lot of this gender ideology and a lot of these critical race theory type things are, and literally getting back to the basics, getting back to being a reasonable human being and recognizing that 5-year-olds should not be exposed to drag queen gender ideologues and should not be stuffing dollar bills down some stripper's underwear. How is this difficult to grasp? This is unbelievable.
Okay,
anyway,
let's
thank
keep
you.
it at that. I just want to say hello to Open Your Eyes UK. He's doing some amazing research with about the topic of Jimmy Savile. I've just remembered because he's in the chat. So well done to you. He has had a strike on Speaker's Corner on YouTube, and he's made a great post. Actually, let me share that because he's made a great post. I've just remembered. There we go. Let me share that. Stop sharing there. Share this screen. So thank you to you for creating this wonderful post. I'll read it out as it's being shown online. He said, "This is why Speaker's Corner Online is better than YouTube. 7 days of uploading on YouTube, obviously, and strike one." So as he is finding out, you can't speak the truth, and you cannot post things that the how can we say, the establishment does not like. So yeah, welcome on board. It's good to have you, and your videos are awesome. All right, people, thank you very much for joining us. Amy shall see you tomorrow. Mia Banksy shall see you on Friday.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good night.
His name was John Money.
Oh, shit. Guess what day it is, guys? It's Canada Day. We got the red dress, we got the chill, we got the vodka, which isn't Canadian, but that's fucking A-okay. Oh, hey. Good morning. Well, answer the questions. You wanted to have a talk like an adult, behave like an adult.
But you know what? They checked your fucking attitude, you stupid bitch.
What attitude? What attitude do I have?
Okay, here we go. You don't see any problem with your
No,
behavior.
I don't think you understand humor.
No,
and
I understand.
No, you
humor,
don't.
And I understand. Like, why would you even say that to begin with? Like,
Why do you care? Why do you care so much? Are you a moral
crusader?
crusader?
Like you, it's bitches like you
Yeah.
that fucking break up relationships.
Oh, is it?
You wanted to talk about effective vegan activism, my activism in particular, and then have that be a segue into the ethical principles of veganism and how that relates to human well-being.
Yeah.
Okay, so why don't you start off?
Holy crap, this steak is so delicious. Oh my God. Nom, nom, nom.